Hello, how you guys doing? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Learn PT, where today my whiteboard shrunk a little bit, but you know how that goes, we'll work with it. Today we're going to be covering a pretty simple concept. What it boils down to is this is information you're going to have to memorize for the upcoming licensure exam, or going to have to permanently have ingrained into your brain throughout practicing as a clinician in the healthcare field of physical therapy. So, I'm going to go over upper extremity innervation, which is primarily the brachial plexus, but also one cranial nerve. And I'm going to try and make it as short and succinct as possible so you guys can watch this video over and over again if you need to get this information down. So, the first nerve I want to discuss is the accessory nerve, which is a cranial nerve. It is cranial nerve 11, and it innervates your trap and your sternocleidomastoid. Next, we got the axillary nerve, which innervates your deltoids, your teres minor, and your tricep. Your teres minor is the first of your 4 rotator cuff muscles, which is a big point on the licensure exam. After that, we got suprascapular nerve, which innervates your supra and your infraspinatus, the next 2 rotator cuff muscles that originate from the scapula. Following that, we got the subscapular nerve. The lower portion of the subscapular nerve innervates your teres major and your subscapularis, whereas the upper portion of the subscapular nerve innervates just your subscapularis. The pectoral nerve, the median portion of the pectoral nerve, innervates your pec minor and your pec major, whereas the lateral portion of the pectoral nerve just innervates your pec major. The dorsal scapular nerve innervates your rhomboid major, your rhomboid minor, and your levator scapula. The thoracodorsal nerve innervates your latissimus dorsi. The long thoracic nerve innervates your serratus anterior, which happens to be a very common question on the licensure exam. The musculocutaneous nerve innervates your biceps, your brachialis, and your coracobrachialis. Your subclavian nerve innervates your subclavian muscle. Your radial nerve innervates your triceps along with the axillary nerve, like said above. Your brachioradialis, your anconeus, and your wrist extensors. The ulnar nerve innervates your flexors, and the median nerve innervates your thumb. And these last 3 nerves, the radial, ulnar, and median, I'm well aware that those are very vague descriptions of the true myotome pattern of the radial, ulnar, and median nerve, but I didn't want to get too deep into those because they can become lengthy with a large quantity of muscles going to each nerve. So if you guys want a video where I break down those 3 nerves into their muscular innervation, just leave a comment below and I'll get right on that and give you guys some more content to learn and process. The last thing I want to discuss is the application of this information. It's not just enough to know this information, we also need to know how to apply it. So I'm going to give you a sample licensure exam question and give you an idea of the way you need to be able to memorize this information but also apply it in a critical setting from a question that isn't going to give you something as simple as what nerve innervates the rhomboid major. That's not going to be a question on the licensure exam. It's going to be something more like this. A patient is having difficulty raising their arm in the frontal plane. Which nerve may be affected by this deviation? So you got to break it down. You got to say, okay, he's raising his arm in the frontal plane. What would that look like? It's going to look like shoulder abduction. What is the primary muscle of shoulder abduction? Okay, the deltoid is the primary mover of shoulder abduction. So I know the deltoid is the primary mover and he's doing abduction. What nerve would help abduction via the deltoids? Your axillary nerve. So it takes critical thinking. It takes us taking multiple portions of our academia from planes of movement, muscles, prime movers, and muscular innervation. We have to take that all together, think critically, put pieces of our academia together into a flowing state where we can answer questions efficiently because we have this information in our long-term memory where we can easily recover it and we can easily answer a question that requires critical thinking. So, just wanted to give you guys a good application for the licensure of why this information is important to memorize and how it can be utilized on an exam to give you a higher score or even help you pass. Thank you guys so much for watching another episode. Leave a thumbs up or subscribe if you wish. really looking forward to putting out more content for you guys. If you got anything you want me to show you guys or give a lesson on, just feel free to leave a comment and I'll get right to it. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.